guys, it's Mustang Girl 74 here, and I don't know if any of you guys remembered, but I had made a comment in, I think it was December's challenge. It was the Treeless challenge. I can't remember for sure what month that was, but the objective in that challenge was to not break up any trees, only any spawn tree. We could only use cultivated trees. So I had made a comment in that series that the village that we had to stay in as part of the challenge was very oddly spawned. And I had said something about redoing that village. And of course I didn't have time to do that in the challenge because the village spawned kind of strangely. There was houses way up on because the biome's weird. It's like I don't know if this is a plains biome or something like that, and then there was a desert. So it kind of the village was kind of right there at that convergence where those two biomes met. So there were some buildings up on a very tall sand dune, and that's where the house that I chose to stay in for that challenge was kind of up on one of those the sand dunes. So I've since then continued to play. Well, I actually lost that world after the challenge, so I just recreated it, and I went into creative mode to redesign the village the way that I would have done it in the challenge, given if I had the time to do so. So I just wanted to kind of take you through to show you what I did, and I think with that we'll just go over to the village and I'll show you the things that I did. So one of the things is I put a wall around the village, and granted, if I had done this in survival, I would not have gotten all of these sea lanterns, but I like the way they look. They're much cleaner. And I did this also, if you're not aware, 1.9 is out for bedrock, which means that we have some of the additional blocks like the smooth sandstone, the stone stairs, and that kind of thing. But I had done this before that update had come out. I just hadn't had a chance to record it once I finished this. So we have our wall here with sandstone, and I put some little arches and that kind of thing. And I put in iron doors. Whoops, if I can get through the door. This area is pretty much the same right here, you know, with the crops. I didn't move any of that kind of stuff. I just walled it all in with these nice walls. I tried to get rid of a lot of the tall grass because I just don't like tall grass. It has a tendency to hide creepers. I left some of the trees that had spawned over here. This little hut right here, I kind of made it like, since there's like, you have this farm here and then there's these two farms here, I kind of made it like a storage area for the farms. So, you know, if you were like gathering up crops, you'd have some place to put it. Of course, there isn't anything in these chests. I just, you know, added that in. This had a wood floor in it, so I put in, I believe this is stripped oak, put that floor in. And then I also changed some of the lighting, or whatever you want to call them, lamps or whatever, that naturally spawn in the village, and I just took off the wool and the torches and added the sea lanterns. And I didn't change any of the crops. These are all the crops that were planted here. Like I said, and then I walled everything in, and I put a kind of a little railing here because this house here was actually buried. I mean, it was completely buried in sand, so I cleared it all out, added this kind of wall in, which I see I didn't change all that sand out, but that's alright. Added a wall, you know, like how they would create walls to, you know, hold back like sand and that kind of stuff. So like I said, completely unburied that house. And then I left this the way it was. I didn't take it down or move it or anything. So I have this railing all the way across here, so you know you don't fall off. And then I added this bridge in so you'd have a way to cross to get to the house that was buried in sand. And let's see, let's go down here. We'll go down here and I'll show you some more. And I did that, the iron railing, just, you know, so villagers didn't fall and that kind of thing. And then I added in, this was how, like, and I changed most of these houses were cobble. I did forget to mention that. The wood ones I left as wood. I didn't really care for the cobble so much, so I used stone on them and just left the, like, foundation as cobble. And then I added in this staircase so you can get down here. And I changed up whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I changed up the well a little bit, made it a little bit fancier, I guess. But I like that style really well. And also as you can see some of the new blocks that we have, slabs and stuff, that we didn't have before. I was actually looking see if I could find either path block or grass block so I can fill in what I just, come on, put that block back that I just broke. Okay, but anyway, so I changed the well too, because the villagers kept falling in, and I added some sugar cane to, you know, kind of dress it up a little bit. So this was the house that was completely buried. Nothing fancy. Like I said, about all I did. There's a kitty cat in here. And you see, I didn't even come in this house and clear all that out. Oh, and I didn't get that back wall all changed out. That's the only bad thing about creative. It is so easy to bust out these blocks. So, like I said, it doesn't look like I actually completely finished swapping out the cobble for stone on this one, which is okay. You kind of get the gist of what I was trying to do, you know, trying to pretty them up a little bit. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of using cobble to build with. Stone, I like the smoother textures. Cobble is okay for like doing the foundation work and stuff. Oh, and also this world, I added the Java, the new Java textures. They had it for beta version for Bedrock, so I went ahead and added it because I wanted to check it out. So some of the textures I like. The wheat is kind of hard to tell now if it's grown or not. Like these are fully grown, but in some of the earlier stages it's kind of hard to tell. This was just a little hut that was on this little island. Like I said, I added this bridge and, you know, put in the wall around the whole village to, you know, keep the village safe, the villagers safe. And then underneath where the wall crosses the water, I used iron bars to kind of make it look like a grate. And I did that here under this bridge area as well, because there wasn't a whole lot of room to walk around here. I added this little section of bridge as well. This was already here. I just added to it and expanded this around this, so there was a path around this, these crops here. And like I said, added the wall and the sea lanterns. I added this stairway, and I believe in the challenge I had put in this stairway. I just pushed this back a little bit more in this round this time than I did in the original one. But then I added this little staircase that goes up and around this way. goes around this little house, or whatever you want to call this. And then that house right there was like way up there, so I moved it down. I cleared out a lot of this out over here and did some terraforming and moved this house, moved this one down to here. And it was just like a little hut, but I moved it down. And then this one here, I see the back door is open. This one here was also way up there, and this one I just carried straight down. This one, as they were up here, they were like right real close to each other, so I just kind of moved this one over a little bit, because there was 3 houses that were really close together. Like these two, they were both up here, and I just moved them straight down from where they were at. And I see the villagers have, and I did, you know, added a little decoration to this one. This was supposed to be like the butcher's house, I believe. And so I added just, you know, a little plant over there, and pretty much built the house the same style that it was. I just added in, just changed it out for stone. And then I used the sandstone to kind of match with the path that was over here. Some of them that has cobbled stairs, and this is the same. It's like a little butcher house that were exactly opposite from each other. So there's those 2 houses, and I'll, you know, put some torches on the house for lighting. And this here is the house that I had picked. If you remember, this one here, there used to be a great big old hill here in between these 2 houses that I would and you know, like I said, that one was up. It was these 2, the little one and this one, that was up on the hill. This one was where it was at. I just kind of filled underneath the dirt, so there wasn't that big gap. And I did, like I said, added some just a little bit of terraforming to make things a little bit more level. I added in that light there, added some lights there. These 2 trees were here. I just left them. This area right here could really use some more lighting. But this was the house that I had picked for the challenge, and that I stayed in, and I put a little porch on here because originally, like I said, there was another right across from my house. There was a little house like that I completely tore down. I didn't build that back in. Oh, and there's a door over that way, so you can go out into the desert. And it's also an iron door. But for my little house that I made, like I said, used the spruce trapdoors for kind of a roof, and made this little porch area. And I didn't really like decorate much on the inside. Because you can see there's my mine. I just put trapdoors over the top of the way down to the mine, so the villagers wouldn't get down there. And the one house, as you can see, I have 3 little adorable kitties, or 4 adorable kitties. The one house that was way up, the one butcher's house, there were 3 cats in that house. So I carefully, you know, fed them some fish so that they would be my kitties, and carefully brought them down from up there and set them in my house. So, like I said, I didn't do a whole lot of decorating in here. Just used the standard torches for lighting. I changed out the cobble walls for stone, and I don't know why he just didn't open that door himself, but okay. So that's, you know, pretty much what I did for this little area. And I think what I'll do, I'll go up here so you can kind of get an overall view of the landscape. So like I said, there was a great big old hill here that I took out and terraformed it. And I don't really like that that wall is right up against that hill, but I didn't really want to there was no really good way to take all of that out. As you can see, it's a big hill, and I took a good portion of it out. I would have to take all that out, and I just didn't want to take the time to do that when my goal was really just to transform this village and make it safer. So as you can see, there weren't too many houses in this village. Like I said, and I only actually took down one house. Added, like I said, some of the little walkways there and bridges, and left all the farms. I didn't do anything with any of the farms. I just kind of, built up around them. And like I said, that house there was mostly buried, so I cleared all of that out and made a walkway so you could get to it. And of course, you can walk through that area there to get to the house, but I thought it just looked better to have that network of walkways there a little bit. Added some staircases in, and that's pretty much it. Like I said, and I forgot to change the cobble on that house to stone. And now we have the one little storage area over here. But anyway, so that's what I did with this village, and I hope you. Oh, the walls that I had, they're all covered with half slabs, so nothing will spawn on the walls. But as you can see, the sea lanterns do light up a little bit outside of the village. So nothing would spawn right next to the village, but at least all the villagers that are here, they're safe. They won't, there shouldn't be too many spawnable areas. Like I said, there's a few dark spots that I probably should have put some lanterns in to lighten it up. Like, I tried to end these crops here. If you look closely, you can see that there's actually carpet in there, and there's sea lanterns down there to kind of help light that up a little bit, because I didn't want to put, like the little lights here, but I may have should have put, a couple more over here to light it up a little bit more. But other than that, I think that's going to do it for this little video. And I hope you liked what I did with the village. Like I said, it wasn't nothing really fancy. We just kind of made it safe for the villagers, and like I said, I didn't really revamp any of the houses. My goal mainly was just to make them safe. So I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.